Last week I was a bit short of money, and I did what I always do when I'm a bit short of money, and that is phone up my friend Simon, because my friend Simon owns an employment agency. And I said to Simon, "Simon, have you got any work for me?" And he said, "Well, I can give you 1 day's work on Friday in a warehouse." So I said, "Well, I need the money, so I'll take it." And on the Friday morning, I turned up at this warehouse. And I went up to the girl on reception and I said, "My name's Dave, I've been sent by the agency and I believe I'm going to be putting some boxes on shelves or something for you." And she said, "Right, what you want to do is go through that door into the warehouse itself and see if you can find a guy called Keith Bellows, and Keith will tell you what to do." So I went off into the warehouse, and just off the warehouse itself was a small office, and sat there was Keith. So I went up to Keith, I introduced myself, I said, "Hello, I'm Dave, I've been sent by the agency. I believe that you're the one who's going to tell me what to do." And Keith said, "Well, that's not how I see it." I said, "I'm sorry." He said, "I thought you were going to tell me what to do." He said, "No, it's not really what I want to do, it's what you want to do. I'm interested to know what you'd like out of today. You see, if we share the same objectives, then the possibility of conflict is limited. We'll be pulling together, we'll be more productive." I said, "Oh yeah, I suppose so. I hadn't thought of it like that." He said, "Right, the first thing that I want you to do is to write down what you think the objectives for today are." So I've got a sheet of paper and I wrote down that the objectives for today are to put those boxes on the new racking. And I handed it to Keith. And Keith looked at it and I could tell he was particularly nonplussed by this. He said, "Well, that's what you're physically going to do. But what I'm interested in is, what are the behaviours you're going to demonstrate? What are the competencies you're going to show? What are the capabilities that you personally are going to bring to this task? Do you think you could do that?" So I said, "I suppose I could. I'll elaborate a bit on what I'm going to do. I'll elaborate on my objectives." So I said, "Well, my first objective, I'm going to stack these boxes boldly in an effective manner. I'm going to familiarise myself with the logistic challenges of the racking system. And this will help future members of staff to locate boxes swiftly and accurately. And this aligns with the mission and the goals of the company, such that there will be increased productivity in the future, where staff aren't wasting their time trying to find hard to find items." And Keith said, "That's very good. Do you think you could do a whole page of them?" So I wrote away, and Keith said, "I'll come back at regular intervals and we'll discuss your objectives, possibly edit them a bit." So Keith came back every half hour, and by midday we had a full set of agreed objectives. And we walked out into the warehouse together, and there was a big pile of boxes and there was a big pile of racking, and Keith said, "I think you should go for your lunch now." So I went for my lunch and I came back in an hour, and after lunch we actually started stacking the boxes on the shelves. It was rather easy because all the boxes were exactly the same, but there was loads of them, and by 5:30 we had only done about half the boxes. And Keith looked a tad disappointed, and he said to me, "Ah, a bit disappointing that. I was thinking we'd get it finished in a day. Can you come back on Monday to finish it off?" So I said, "Yeah, I suppose so." He said, "I'll tell you what, can you come back at 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday?" I said, "Why do you want me in so early?" He said, because something's gone wrong today. So we're going to have to review your objectives. Thank you.